Hello students, today we are going to start chapter number 3 of History, Ruling the Countryside. In the previous chapter we have learned that with what motivation the Britishers have entered India and how they started thinking on capturing the land over India. In this chapter, we are going to learn that after gaining the Diwani rights, that is, the rights for collecting the revenue of Bengal, what kind of strategies were taken by the British. The company becomes the Diwan. On 12th August 1765, the Mughal Emperor appointed the East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. The actual event most probably took place in Robert Clive's tent, with a few Englishmen and Indians as witness. But in the painting above, the event is shown as a majestic occasion taking place in grand setting. The painter was commissioned, that means he was bribed by Clive to record the memorable event in Clive's life. The grant of Diwani clearly was one such event in British imagination. As Diwan, the company became the chief financial administrator of the territory under its control. Now it had to think of administering the land and organizing its revenue resources. This had to be done in a way that could yield enough revenue to meet the growing expenses of the company. A trading company had also to ensure that it could buy the product it needed and sell what it wanted. The land revenue policies under the British. The land for the farmers of India meant a lot to them. They have cultivated the piece of a land from generations, and that land was seen as belonging to their family. Nobody could evict them so long as they paid a part of their product as tax. Villages were largely self-sufficient. Everything changed when the company took the control of the revenue collection. Instead of a part of the produce, the company demanded a fixed amount in cash. To pay the amount, farmers had to cultivate cash crops like cotton, poppy, and indigo, which brought in more money from food crops like wheat or rice. Farmers who earlier grew in their own food were self-sufficient now had to buy part of their requirements. The Indian villagers were no longer self-sufficient. In an effort to streamline the process, the British instituted 3 forms of revenue collections in India. They were the permanent settlement of Bengal, the Ryotwari system, and the Mehelwari system. Warren Hastings auctioned the right to collect the revenue to the highest bidder. These new revenue collectors were called zamindars. Now, you must be wondering, what are these policies for and who are called zamindars? Now, all these 3 different policies were initiated by the British to collect the revenue from the farmers of Bengal in different situations. This I will be dealing in detail one by one. Now, zamindars. Who were zamindars? Zamindars were the people who used to collect taxes from the farmers and then pay it to the British. The British were not collecting the taxes directly from the farmers. They used to auction the rights for collecting the revenue to these zamindars. Now, these zamindars were local rulers or some wealthy person of that village. Many a times, these zamindars were actually believed to be investing on the land improvement. The cash crops like cotton, poppy, and indigo used to consume very high fertility out of the land. Now, while cropping these cash crops or while cultivating these cash crops, it was very much important for the farmers to give it a proper interval before cropping it next time. But as now the taxes had to be paid in cash, the farmers became helpless and they had to cultivate the land as soon as possible. If they fail or if weather fails, the crops could not grow for any reason. They used to take money from the money lenders, which was an additional burden on their shoulders. Ultimately, even after initializing different policies, the policies were completely against the interest of the farmers. There was a need to improve agriculture. Hence, they have initiated the permanent settlement of Bengal. Now, let me tell you what is permanent settlement of Bengal. In 1793, Cornwallis introduced the permanent settlement of Bengal. The zamindars were required to pay a fixed amount in cash on a fixed date as land revenue to the treasury, irrespective of what they could collect. Slowly, the zamindar brought more areas under cultivation and made more money, while they paid the same fixed amount to the company. Many zamindars benefited more than either the company or the peasants. Now, परमानेंट सेटलमेंट में ब्रिटिशर्स ने इन ज़मींदार्स को राइट दे दिया कि आपको अपनी लैंड से इतने पैसे कलेक्ट करके हर साल मुझे पे करना है. अब ये पैसे ज़मींदार्स किस तरह से वसूलते हैं फार्मर से और कैसे नहीं, ये पूरा हेडेक इन ज़मींदार्स का होगा. इसके लिए ज़मींदार्स ने क्या किया, आसपास के एक्स्ट्रा एरियाज़ को कल्टीवेशन में यूज़ करना शुरू कर दिया. इससे प्रोडक्शन ज़्यादा होने लगा, टैक्सेस ज़्यादा आने लगे, बट ब्रिटिशर्स को तो वही फिक्स्ड अमाउंट देना पड़ रहा था. तो अल्टीमेटली पूरा बेनिफिट इन ज़मींदार्स को हो रहा था. यहाँ पर ब्रिटिशर्स वर नॉट देयर फॉर इंक्रीजिंग द टैक्सेस और फॉर एनीथिंग. दे वर जस्ट interested into getting that fixed amount annually from the zamindars, but the peasants were suffering. Now, advantages for the British and disadvantages for the farmers for the permanent settlement. The zamindars turned out to be firm supporters of the British because ultimately they were benefited, so they became very loyal to the British. By fixing the land revenue, the British government ensured that it received the same fixed amount on a fixed date. So the income will be regular. There will be no pause or there will be no kind of excuses from the farmers that they couldn't pay the taxes. It was easier to deal with a few zamindars than hundreds of farmers. हर farmers के पास जाकर taxes collect करने के headache से better था कि किसी एक जमींदार से वो deal कर ले. Now, what were the disadvantages of permanent settlement to the farmers? The zamindars ill-treated the farmers to extract the revenue. The farmers who had to either sell or mortgage their land to pay the revenue became landless laborers. कई बार जब वो taxes pay नहीं कर पाते थे तो या तो वो मनी लेंडर से लोन ले लें. अगर वो लोन लेकर चुका नहीं पाए तो अल्टीमेटली उनकी ज़मीन उनसे छीन ली जाती थी. तो कई सारे ऐसे फार्मर्स जो कि जिनके पास ज़मीन काफ़ी कम थी वो धीरे धीरे लैंडलेस लेबरर्स में टर्न हो गए. Many landowners were evicted from their land by the British because they did not have pattas. Now, what is pattas? Pattas are the official document to show that they are the owners of the land, to prove that they owned the land, because the farmers could not show the pattas, that official document that the land belongs to them. So British used to remove them and capture that land. वो land अब उनकी हो गई. To meet increasing expenses, the government had to increase the taxes in the other provinces. अब इस एरिया में तो उन्होंने परमानेंट सेटलमेंट लगा दिया, यहाँ से फिक्स्ड रेवेन्यू आ रही है, लेकिन उनके एक्सपेंसेस बढ़ रहे हैं तो उन्हें एक्स्ट्रा इनकम की ज़रूरत है. तब जाकर उन्होंने रियायतवारी और महलवारी सिस्टम इंट्रोड्यूस किए इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द एरिया. We will be learning till here only today. We will continue understanding the Riyatwari system and Mehelwari system in our next class. Thank you for today. Do read the chapter and keep safe. Thank you.